am Jesslyn Orbito from BA Com 1A, and together with my group mates, join us as we tour, relapse, and go back in the past. So listen, sit back, and relax as we remember all the things that happened just to have our freedom. Let's all define first what is propaganda movement. It is a peaceful crusade or campaign for reforms. It was organized and participated by the Ilustrados. Dr. Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, and Graciano Lopez Haina are the leaders of the said movement. The rise of propaganda movement. It began in 1872 when Fathers Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora were executed at the Luneta. The Filipino exiles of 1872 and many patriotic students abroad met in Hong Kong, Singapore, Barcelona, Madrid, Paris, London, and other foreign cities. Work of promoting the welfare and happiness of the fatherland. Aggressively but peacefully, by means of writing and speeches, they crusaded for reforms to rectify the evils of the Spanish colonial system. There are 5 reforms desired by the propaganda movement. First is the equality of the Filipinos and Spaniards before the laws. Second is the assimilation of the Philippines as a regular province of Spain. Third is the restoration of the Philippines' representation in the Spanish Cortes. The fourth one is the Philippinization of the Philippine parishes and the expulsion of the friars. The fifth and the last one is the human rights for Filipinos, such as freedom of speech, freedom of the press, and freedom to meet the petition for redress of grievances. The propagandists were patriots who waged their movement by means of pen and tongue to expose the defects of Spanish rule in the Philippines and the urgency of reforms to remedy them. They were scions of good families, highly intelligent, educated, patriotic, and courageous, who symbolized the flower of Filipino manhood. First among the propagandists is Marcelo H. Del Pilar. He is a lawyer and a journalist, beloved by masses for his eloquent Tagalog and fearless defense of the poor against friar abuses. Second one is Dr. Jose Rizal. He is a physician, novelist, and many splendored genius. The third one is Graciano Lopez Haina. He is the greatest orator of the propaganda movement. The fourth one is Mariano Ponce. He is a medical student and a biographical writer. There are other propagandists such as Juan Luna and Felix Hidalgo, the masters of brush, Pedro Paterno, a lawyer and a man of letters, Antonio Luna, pharmacist and essayist, Pedro Serrano Lactao, teacher tutor of Prince Alfonso de Bourbon, later King Alfonso XIII of Spain. Jose Panganiban, linguist and essayist, Fernando Canon, engineer and musician, Jose Alejandrino, an engineer and a political writer, Isabelo de los Reyes, folklorist, newspaperman, and a scholar, Dominador Gomez, physician and orator, and many, many more. There are foreign friends of the propaganda movement such as Ferdinand Blumentritt, Don Juan Ataide, and Miguel Moraita, and many more. Literature of the propaganda movement. Despite its political spirit, the propaganda movement produced certain meritorious literary works which contributed to the blossoming of the Filipino literature. Some of the writers that has contribution in the propaganda literature are Dr. Pedro A. Paterno, Gregorio Sancianco, Marcelo H. Del Pilar, Graciano Lopez Haina, Antonio Luna, Isabella de los Reyes, and many more. Masonry and the propaganda movement. Many Filipino patriots became Masons because they needed the help of the Masons in Spain and in other foreign countries for their fight for reform. These are the Masonry and the propaganda movement. Mason These are the Masonry and the propaganda movement. Revolucion, Lodge Solidaridad, Lodge Nilad, Asociación Hispano-Filipina, and Liga Filipina. The end of propaganda movement. Rizal arrest to the Pitan marks the end of the propaganda movement. Radical members like Andres Bonifacio separated from the movement, believing that it was useless to expect reforms from Spaniards. Los Compromisarios, a group organized in purpose of prolonging the movement. Each member promised to contribute financially to aid the propaganda movement in Spain. For some months, the Compromisarios sent funds to Marcelo del Pilar in Madrid for the continued printing of La Solidaridad. Later, many members stopped paying their contributions so that the flow of funds in Spain ceased. For lack of funds, La Solidaridad died out after its last issue on November 15, 1895. With the demise of La Solidaridad, the propaganda movement consequently ended.
Hi, I am Jemima Grace G. Vertudaso, and I will be the one to discuss the leadership in the reform movement or propaganda movement. The propaganda movement rose among young Filipino emigrants in the late 1900s. They later on go back to the Philippines to be a part of this movement. Some of them are in abroad supporting the fight against the Spaniards. The movement was spearheaded by three influential Filipino figures by their time. The most prominent member of the propaganda was Dr. Jose Rizal, born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Laguna. He was a physician, novelist, and a patriot. He was educated in Manila and abroad. While being an excellent medical student, Rizal had grown to despise the Spaniards because of their exploit in his own home country. He also wanted the Filipinos to not let the colonizers oppress them anymore. And so, he wrote two novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. These two are about fighting the Spanish rule by that time. He became the leader of the propaganda because of his contributions to the newspaper, La Solidaridad, a newspaper seeking the Filipinos' heart and mind for nationalism. He wrote several political programs that includes integration of the Philippines as a province of Spain, representation in the Cortes, the replacement of Spanish friars by Filipino priests, freedom of assembly and expression, and equality of Filipinos and Spaniards before the law. When he arrived from Spain, Rizal formed a non-violent reform movement known as La Liga Filipina, and a revolt from the Katipuneros spawned. He was the one arrested for it by sedition, even though he had no connections with them. And later on, he was exiled and killed by the Spaniards for his martyrdom, as we all have known. The next prominent member and a leader of the propaganda movement was Graciano Lopez Haina. He was a well-known journalist, reformist, and a national hero. He was born in Haro, Iloilo. His mother wanted him to become a priest, but the strong oppression of the Spaniards did not let him become one. He was an intelligent man. He wrote Great Botod early in his life in 1874. It was a novel about priests who spoke saintly verses but cannot see their wrongdoings. To avoid death threats because of his novel, he was forced to study in Spain but did not finish his program. Later on, he became one of the founders and editors of La Solidaridad in 1888 together with other Filipinos who wanted the Spanish colonial era to dissipate. His strong determination for his home country sapped his physical strength, and he will later on die of tuberculosis in 1896. When he died, the propaganda movement also died with him, though not the members, of course, just the reform. He was a great journalist whose works are indeed an eye-opener to the wrongdoings of the colonizers. The last of the pillars of the reform movement that we are to discuss is Marcelo H. del Pilar. He was a Bulaqueño, born in San Nicolas, Bulacan, on August 30, 1850. He began his studies in a school of Señor Flores. Later on, he passed to the Colegio de San Jose and studied law at University of Santo Tomas in 1880. He was a man of himself and for his country. He made speeches in crowds, whether a cockpit, tienda, or town plaza. He delivered his hatred for friars in any place as long as there are listeners. In August 1882, he published Diaryong Tagalog, which exposes the abuse and exploitation of the friars. And he also wrote La Soberania Monacal and Filipinas, defending his fellow Filipino people from the oppressors. Just like Jaina and Rizal and other propagandists, he used his mind and pen to fight against the Spaniards. He was one of the editors of La Solidaridad when he came back from Spain. The Filipino community back in Spain supported the paper. Del Pilar assumed the management of the paper's last issue until November 1895.
Other propagandists. The propaganda movement was a cultural organization formed in 1872 by Filipino expatriates in Europe, composed of the Filipino elite called Ilustrados, exiled, reveler and student of attending Europe's universities gravitated to the movement. Here's the list of other propagandists. Number 1. Dominador Gomez. Dominador Gomez was a Filipino ilustrado, nationalist, physician, and a labor leader. He was born in Intramuros, Manila in 1868. He was a nephew of Padre Mariano Gomez, one of the three secular priests who were executed in 1872 after being falsely accused of orchestrating the Cavite Mutiny. Number 2. Graciano Lopez y Jaina, commonly known as Graciano Lopez, was a Filipino journalist, orator, reformist, and national hero who is well known for his newspaper, La Solidaridad. Philippine historians regards Lopez Jaina, along with Marcelo H. del Pilar and Jose Rizal, as triumvirate of Filipino propagandists. Number 3. Marcelo H. del Pilar. Marcelo H. del Pilar was a created figure in the Philippine Revolution and the leading propagandist for reforms in the Philippines. Properly known as Plaridel, he was a creator and co-publisher of the reformatist newspaper La Solidaridad. Number 4. Francisco Tonyo Longson. Francisco Tonyo Longson Sr. was a Filipino doctor and politician. He belonged to a generation of the Philippine colonial subject who struggled to evolve a national identity for their homeland in their fringe of the Spain Empire. Late in 18th century was concept of being Filipino was still nebulous and infinite. Number 5. Juan Novicio Luna. Juan Novicio Luna was a Filipino painter, sculptor, and a political activist of the Philippine Revolution. During the 19th century, he became one of the first internationally recognized Philippine artists. And the last, number 6, Dr. Jose Rizal. Jose Protasio Mercado Rizal is a Philippine national hero whose writing inspired the Filipino movement from freedom from Spanish rule during his stay in Spain. Rizal became the master mason in Acacia Lodge, number 9 in 1884.
Magandang araw! Ako nga po pala si Marian Ashley B. Astudillo at ang aking tatalakayin ay ang La Solidaridad. Ang La Solidaridad ay isang kilalang pahayagan na itinatag noong 1889 ng mga Pilipino revolusyonaryo sa Madrid, Espanya. Layunin nito ang pagtutulungan ng mga Pilipino sa labas ng Pilipinas upang ipaglaban ang kanilang karapatan, kalayaan at mga reforma mula sa kolonyal na pamahalaan ng Espanya. Ang pahayagan ay naging mahalagang bahagi ng kilusang propaganda, isang kilusan para sa pagpapalaganap ng kamalayan tungkol sa mga pang-aabuso ng kolonyalismo at pagtutulak sa mga reforma. Sa pamamagitan ng mga akdang na itlathala dito, naging lunsaran ito ng mga ideya at panawagan para sa kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Ang La Solidaridad ay naging isang mahalagang bahagi ng kilusang propaganda kung saan ang mga makata at manunulat tulad ni Jose Rizal, Graciano Lopez Haina, Marcelo H. del Pilar at iba pa ay naglathala ng mga artikulo at tula na nagpapakita ng mga injustice at pang-aapi ng Espanya sa mga Pilipino. Ang mga artikulo at tula na nailathala dito ay nagbibigay impormasyon sa mga Pilipino na labanan ang kolonyalismo. Sa kabila ng mga pagsubok at panganib, ang La Solidaridad ay nagpapatuloy sa paglathala ng mga pananaw at ideya ng mga Pilipinong makabayan. Ito ay isang mahalagang bahagi ng pag-usbong ng nasyonalismo at kamalayan sa Pilipinas na humantong sa pagpapalaganap ng mga ideya ng kalayaan at pagbabago. Sa wakas, noong 1895, ang La Solidaridad ay nagsara, ngunit ang mga adhikain nito ay nagpatuloy sa iba't ibang anyo ng paglaban-laban ng kolonyalismong Espanya hanggang sa pagsiklab ng himagsikang Pilipino noong 1896. Ang kahalagahan ng solidaridad sa Tagalog ay nagpapakita ng pagkakaisa, pagtutulungan at pakikipagkapwa-tao. Ito ay mahalaga sa lipunan dahil ito ay nagbibigay daan sa mga tao na magtulungan at magkaisa upang maabot ang mga layunin at masolusyonan ang mga suliranin. Ito ay nagpapalaganap ng pagmamahalan at respeto sa isa't isa na nagbubuklod sa mga tao bilang isang komunidad. Ang mga kasapi ng La Solidaridad ay sina Graciano Lopez Haina, Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, Antonio Luna, Mariano Ponce, Jose Maria Panganiban, Dominador Gomez. Ang La Solidaridad ay isang makabayan at politikal na pahayagan na itinatag noong 1889 ng mga Pilipinong revolusyonaryo na kasapi ng propaganda movement. Ito ay isinilbi bilang isang instrumento para sa mga pakikipaglaban ng mga Pilipino sa kolonyal na pamahalaan ng Espanya at pagpapalaganap ng ideya tungkol sa kalagayan ng pagkapantay-pantay. Sa pamamagitan ng La Solidaridad, naging mas malawak ang kamalayan ng mga Pilipino sa kanilang kalagayan at nagsisilbing inspirasyon ito sa kanilang pakikibaka para sa kalayaan mula sa Espanya. Ito rin ay ang naging ambag sa pagbuo ng mas malawakang kilusang revolusyonaryo na magdala sa wakas ng Philippine Revolution noong 1896. May tatlong pangunahing bahagi ito. Una, pampolitika, pinangunahan ni Marcelo H. del Pilar. Pangalawa, panitikan, pinangunahan ni Mariano Ponce. Pangatlo, recreation, pinangunahan ni Tomas Arejola. Ang pangunahing bahagi ay binubuo ng mga Pilipinong reformista na nagsilbing editor at manunulat para sa pahayagan. Ang mga pangunahing personalidad na kasapi ng editorial board ay kinabibilangan ni Marcelo H. del Pilar, Graciano Lopez Haina, Antonio Luna at iba pa. Sila ang mga nagmumungkahi at nagsusulat ng mga artikulo at editorial na naglalaman ng mga idea ng kilusang propaganda. Ang ikalawahang bahagi ay binubuo ng mga Pilipinong manunulat, intelihente at mga progresibong nilalang na nag-ambag ng mga artikulo, tula at iba't ibang akda sa pahayagan. Kasama rito ang mga hindi kilalang manunulat at mga kilalang personalidad tulad nila Jose Rizal na naglahad ng kanyang mga akda sa pahayagan. Ang pangatlong bahagi ay binubuo ng mga tao at samahang nagpopondo at sumusuporta sa pahayagan. Ang mga subscriptor at mga tagapagtustos ang nagbibigay ng kani-kanilang pondo upang mapanatili ang operasyon ng La Solidaridad at ang pagpapalaganap nito. Ang pangunahing layunin ng La Solidaridad ay ang sumuporta sa mga reformang panlipunan at politikal sa Pilipinas sa ilalim ng kolonyalismo ng Espanya. Ipakilala ang mga problema at isyu sa Pilipinas sa mga Espanyol at sa mga pandaigdigang komunidad. Ang pahayagan ay naglalayong magkaroon ng suporta mula sa mga liberal na Espanyol upang mapanagot ang mga abuso at katiwalian ng mga kolonyal na opisyal sa Pilipinas. Itaguhid ang mga reformang panlipunan at politikal sa Pilipinas. Ang La Solidaridad ay naglalayong mag-ambag ng diskusyon ukol sa mga reforma tulad ng pagkakaroon ng mga Pilipino ng mas malawak na karapatan sa kanilang bayan, mas mataas na antas ng edukasyon at pagkakaroon ng representasyon sa pamahalaan. Magbigay ng boses sa mga Pilipino laban sa mga pang-aabuso ng mga Espanyol. Sa pamamagitan ng pagsusulat ng mga artikulo at editorial, pinapalaganap ng La Solidaridad ang mga kwento ng kawalan ng katarungan at pang-aabuso ng mga kolonyal ng opisyal sa Pilipinas. Magbigay inspirasyon at liwanag sa mga Pilipino. Inaasahan na ang pahayagan ay magbibigay inspirasyon sa mga Pilipino upang ipaglaban ang kanilang karapatan at maging mapanuri sa mga nangyayari sa kanilang bayan. At ang tanong ng marami, ano ang nangyari sa La Solidaridad? Ang La Solidaridad ay nagpatuloy sa paglathala ng mga artikulo at sulatin na naglalayong isulong ang mga reforma at kalayaan para sa mga Pilipino sa ilalim ng kolonyal na pamahala ng Espanya mula 1889 hanggang 1895. Pagtigil ng paggawa. Noong 1895, nagtigil ang paglalathala ng La Solidaridad dahil sa kakulangan sa pondo at pagka-aksidente ni Marcelo H. del Pilar, isa sa mga pangunahing editor ng pahayagan. Dahil dito, hindi na ito nagpatuloy sa paglathala. Pagpapatuloy ng revolusyon. Bagamat natigil ang pahayagan, pagtuloy ang pakikipagbaka para sa kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Noong 1896, pumutok ang Philippine Revolution na pinamumunuan ni Andres Bonifacio. Ito ang naging simula ng mas malawakang paglaban ng mga Pilipino laban sa kolonyal na pamahalaan ng Espanya. Pagkatapos ng kolonyal na pananakop, ang Philippine Revolution ay patuloy na lumaganap noong 1898. Naging sentro ng laban ang pagkakaroon ng Estados Unidos sa Pilipinas. Pagkatapos ng Spanish-American War, nilipat ng Espanya ang soberenya ng Pilipinas sa Estados Unidos sa ilalim ng Treaty of Paris. Sa kasunduang ito, nagkamit ang Pilipinas ng de facto na kalayaan mula sa Espanya.